Yep. Good evening, everyone. So, yesterday we discussed about what is a component. So, basic rules of creating component. We are learning about how to design components by using a function. We are learning how to use function components. So, in React components, as we learned, we can have function component as well as class. And in function component, we have some basic rules to follow. I will give a basic summary. Every function must return presentation, and functions will use JSX, and some JSX rules also we learned. So you cannot have multiple lines. Everything should be written as one fragment. For that, you can use any container or empty fragments or react dot fragment, right? Now, today we will see one example how to add components and how to design. Actually, when we are creating components, so the basic approach for that, I will show you one option, one example I will show you, designing a component. So with the bootstrap styles, we will see how to design a component with bootstrap styles. Initially, we will use bootstrap for making the presentation in a more better way. Later, along with bootstrap, we can also use React Material UI. React have a component library called Material UI. That library will provide good designs which you can directly use. But in order to use that material designs, you need to learn so many things. First, we will learn that and then go to the materials. Initially, we can try with Bootstrap. So to create a component and use Bootstrap styles in it, first you have to set up, install Bootstrap. So what you need to do is you have to first point install Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons library for project. This is the first thing you have to do. So you need to install Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons library for the project. So let's see, this is our project. I will start this project. npm start. Okay. And how to install Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons? Because remember, you must have good knowledge of Bootstrap CSS, because what is the purpose of React.js? The purpose of React.js is to build effective user interface. That is what the aim of library also. So React says that I am a very good library for building interfaces. Then if you say that I don't know CSS, Bootstrap, and I am going to build effective interfaces, that is like not correct, right? How you can build effective interface without CSS, Bootstrap? That is a mandatory knowledge. So at React level also, React provides a good library for building interfaces, but making interfaces effective requires a lot of CSS. So make sure that you learned Bootstrap and you know how to use Bootstrap, because presentations can be more better in interface by using Bootstrap, and it is mandatory in every project to use them, right? So here, how to install Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons? You have to open the terminal, npm install Bootstrap and save. Another, you have to install npm install Bootstrap icons and save. You can do this too. After installing Bootstrap library, in order to use this library in your project, you have to link these files to your index page. So link Bootstrap CSS and icons CSS and icons CSS to index.js. You have to link them to index.js. Index.js, that is the file where you have to link, right? How do we link that? So you can see here index.js is there. Index.js is already importing a CSS. You have to import the other CSS and use them. Actually, our CSS is present in which location? When you install Bootstrap, it is present in node modules. From here, we have to get and use it. So what I will do here now is first install Bootstrap. In one terminal, this application is running. Don't disturb this. You can take another terminal. You can select a new terminal. This is a new terminal button. You can click on that new terminal. Another terminal will open. Here we will install. So npm install Bootstrap and save. That is one CSS unit. Another, we need to install Bootstrap icons. Yeah, it is installed. Now I will install another npm install Bootstrap icons and save. That is Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons, two libraries. So once you install these Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons, let's link these to our index.js. So let's go to the index.js. Here we have to link. I hope you people know where these resources are kept. Actually, I will show you the path here. So we have to import. Anywhere you can write import. So in that // then it will come out of src, because index is present in src. We can access node modules. In that node modules, we have Bootstrap. In that Bootstrap dist, in that dist CSS, in that bootstrap.css. This is the file you have to link. Another file you have to import, and node modules. In that Bootstrap icons, in Bootstrap icons font, in that Bootstrap icons.css. These two files we have to link. Now your project is ready to use Bootstrap. Now how to use Bootstrap and make the components more effective? Let's see. So Bootstrap is ready now. Okay. Once Bootstrap is ready, that means in index, you have to import like this. So you need to write import, and it is // node modules. In that Bootstrap, there will be dist css bootstrap.css. That is one. Another import. So node modules. In this you have Bootstrap icons, and in icons font, in that Bootstrap icons.css. These two files are to be linked. Once you link, these are ready to use. Bootstrap is ready to use. Let's do one thing. Let's create a component. So we will create a component. So to create a component, all the components we will maintain in this SRC folder. And currently SRC folder is messed up with all files. I will put a separate folder in SRC called components. That is good, right? So I will put a separate folder called components. It is good to arrange all the related files separate. And generally for every component, we will have two files regularly. One is component have CSS and component have JS. For every component, it's not necessary. We can maintain two files. One contains its CSS, another contains its JS. So because every component will have two files, better you maintain a subfolder for every component. That means in components folder, I will add a subfolder called some login. Okay, login is one folder. In that, we will add two files. One file is JS file, another file is CSS. I will give here a new file. Select new file button. And in login, I am adding login, login, login component. I will give login.component.js. It's not necessary to use the word component, but it is tradition. That means as per the project traditions, because every file is a JS file. In a project, you will have components, you will have services, you have filters, so many will be there. If every file is .js, which one is component, which one is service, it is difficult to understand. That is the reason developers have an habit of giving such type of names, right? But remember, component is not extension, that is just a name. Extension is JS. Okay, this is the JS file. Okay, we will add one more file. So I will add another file, login.component.css. So for every component, you better maintain two files. So one is this CSS, another JS. Now let's go to the JS file. Let's create a component here. How do we create a component? Remember, now you are working in a module system. You created a separate file means module system. Module system means anything you maintained in this file is not accessible outside. How to make it accessible outside? We have to mark it as what? Export. Export function. Function name login component, right? This function have to return. Return, I will put a container. I will just put a container, because everything must be in one container. In this container, I will design another container here. So in this container, better I will keep this container as a form. Okay, I will design a form. In this form, I will keep a div. So in this div, I will keep a class. So I already told you here, we'll keep a heading. Heading is a user login. User login. Okay. Now, initially we will design everything in a plain manner, right? First, in this div, I want some user name. Then I will put a label. You know how to design general forms. In that, I will give user name. Okay. Next, below the div, I will keep a text box. Input type is equal to text. Remember, it needs a end tag. End tag. So you can simply use self-ending. Okay. Right. This is one container. Okay. Another div. In this, I will use a label password and a div. We will define input type is equal to password. password, and let's close. And let's keep another div. And here I will just give a button as login. I will just design a simple screen here. Now, in this screen, actually, this is the basic login screen we designed. Now, this is the login component. I want this login component to come on my page. I want that login component to use here. So to use that login component, what we have to do, go to index. In index, currently which component is starting? App. So you have to import your component here. How to import our component? Because it is designed in a separate file, import. So it is present in ./components. In components, which folder? Login. In that login component, that is how we have to import. This is the file name now. Login.component is the file. That file contains, we have to import, and from that what to import? You have to define that. Am I right? Import what? Import login component. Login component. Is it marked as default? It is not marked as default. Then you have to use a block. Am I right? In the block, what it is? Login component from this location. Understood? That means we have to, this is module system, already we learned. So we have to import that login component function from these components. Now we need to keep it in the startup. Remove this app. Instead of app, which component? Login component. Now you can see your login component have to come here. So our login component is working. We are starting with login, but I want a good appearance for this. I want a good appearance for this. So what I will do here is, you can write your own CSS, or you can keep the existing CSS of Bootstrap and link to this. For example, what I will do is, let's take to this component JS file. This is the main container. This is the main div. And for that main div, you can see currently left side margin is very less. So usually whenever people are using Bootstrap, they apply class. We will use class name. I told you we cannot bind to property, bind to attribute. We have to bind to property. Class name, we have container fluid. Actually, this is a Bootstrap class. And that Bootstrap class will change the little alignment. It will change the alignment. Okay. In this user login, I will put a span. And here I will put a class name. You are using Bootstrap icons also. What we will do, BI. Bootstrap icons, you know, we access by using BI. BI, I said person fill. And you can see Bootstrap icons also working. We have Bootstrap and we have Bootstrap icons working. If your links failed, you are unable to properly link the CSS, these will not work. Now let's go here. See, now for this div, what we are doing is, so very simple. For this div, I am using class name margin bottom MB, margin bottom 2. That means every container is having margin bottom 2. That means password, login, every container. Then you can see a little good gap will come between every category. And usually when you are designing here, see, usually for labels, we apply a class called form label. And you can see automatically there will be some gap between the label and the text. Here it is not there, right? Because generally in Bootstrap for labels, we apply a class. What is the class? form label, form label, and you can see that is the label here. And for text box, I hope you know, we will apply a class here, form control. For password also, we will apply a class. What is it? Form control. For buttons, you know the class. For button, I am using the class name btn primary w100, that is width. And you can see that the appearance is this. I don't want this much width. Then now I will do one thing. Let's go to the login CSS file now. In this login CSS file, I will write form. Wherever form is present, for form width I will give as 300 pixel. And that means you can see the form will be less. That means the form size is reduced. You can refresh and see it is reduced little bit. And this is not applied. Why it is not applied? Because this CSS is not linked to this JS file. Am I right? Now what we have to do? We have to link the CSS to this component JS file. We have to write import dot slash which file? Login dot component dot CSS. That is the file we have to link, because it is present in the same folder. Now width is adjusted. Now what we are doing here is, in that CSS, we are giving some border as 2 pixel solid gray. And I am giving padding as 20 pixel. I am giving border radius as 20 pixel. And you can see the form appearance is in this way. And I want this form to be exactly center. Then usually it is kept in this container. Form is kept in this container. For this container, I will give an ID. The ID is, I will give the reference ID as, for example, this is form container. ID as form container. Okay. Now we will access the ID here. What is it? Hash form container. Form container. I will use display as flex. Justify content center. Align items center. And we will keep the height as 500 pixel. Then it will keep the content to center. This is all CSS. And you say, I am a React developer, I don't know all this. That's like joke. Right? What you are talking about? You are a React developer. And I don't know all this. Then that's not React developer. Right? React developers means building effective interfaces. And how you will build effective interfaces? Only React is just a library, right? That means it is just a library to make it more better in performance, functionality. Design everything you have to do with your HTML only. HTML, CSS, Bootstrap, right? This library will help you in making it more better. You have to learn all this. Many people come to learn React and they say, sir, I don't know proper CSS. I don't know proper Bootstrap. You can't survive in real world projects. You have to learn. Make sure that you learned every component library perfectly. Because in real world, every day this you have to do. Right? You need to know all these. Right? But this is general. Everybody who learned basic user interface designs, they know basic CSS, padding, margins and all. They know about how do we apply Bootstrap classes and all, right? This is a simple example to make you understand how the Bootstrap is used in React components to make it better. Now we created a good component, and that component contains two files. One JavaScript file, another one CSS file. In some CSS we written, Some CSS we applied through Bootstrap, right? So I will give you this example. The process I will explain here. After doing that, next step, what I have done after linking this, next step, add a new folder into SRC by name components, right? So next step, add a subfolder into components. And what is that subfolder? Login. And add following files into login. What are the files? One is login.component.css. In component CSS, I will give you this logic. Okay, this is the component CSS. Another file, login.component.js. That is the JavaScript file. In this file, this is the logic. I will copy this entire. You need to import that CSS also here. Okay. Now, one more very important here is after this, you need to change the index. Am I right? So next point. So you need to go to index.js in SRC. In index.js, you have to do two things. First, you have to just import this component. You have to import this component, login component. After importing, keep this in the startup. I will just give you this part, okay? Because rest of other things already written, you don't need to do anything. Now, this is the first example. So I given so detailed point, right? For every day now, for every component, we will maintain a folder. We will add 2 files and we will design the component. And initially, every day, when you practice different examples, keep that component in the startup and test it. Because currently we haven't learned any navigation. Later we will learn how to build navigation. There what you can do, you will have one index page every day, and there you can select which one you want. That component will come and load. Such interface we cannot create now. Later we will do that. So initially, this is a basic example of designing a component with good interface. In this, we used general CSS and we used Bootstrap and you used Bootstrap icons. We can make it more better with the help of React library. Same like Bootstrap, React have a library called Material. We will see that later, because for that you need to learn so many other concepts. Okay, now once you understood how to design components and how to set up effects, let's create this Netflix example and see. Now we will see how do we create this Netflix example. We will try to create the initial screen for this. Now it is very important to design this screen. The basic initial screen I will show here. To design this, you need to understand the components hierarchy first. You need to understand components hierarchy. So what you have to do here is see, I will show you the hierarchical design. So actually how they designed it, what is the concept behind this? See, usually you are watching there a initial screen like this. This is the index component of Netflix. That means you are watching this screen, and actually this is, I will name this as Netflix index. So we have a Netflix index component. Okay, this is Netflix index component. Actually, you can see the design. You can observe the design of Netflix. That index component in the background, it is having a photo. And that photo is not dominating. That photo is very dark in color. So we will try to achieve that. Okay. So you see here, this is index. Understood? That is index. In that, on that index, in that particular index, what they have done is, in that index, they kept a header component. This is header component. In that index, there is a header component. That means this is Netflix header. In the Netflix header, what they have a banner left, and they have right side drop down, and they have a button. That is header. Now where this header is kept? Header is kept in the index. That means, remember, this Netflix header is a separate component. Understood? It is a separate component. It is brought inside the index and kept. That means every component is separately designed, and inside means in one component you are accessing another component, a component inside another component. Okay. After header, you can see, actually this is the Netflix main component. That is the Netflix main component. So here they have a Netflix main component here. After the header, they have a Netflix main component. Netflix main is there. In this Netflix main component, this is heading and all. Under that, there is a register component. Actually, this is another component. This is another component. That is another component. How I can say that it is another component? Because you see in this website, ready to watch, enter your email and create membership. This is repeated here again. Am I right? At the bottom, it is repeated again. At the bottom, it is repeated again means it is not a part of main. It is a separate component injected into main, injected in the footer also. Above the footer also, they placed it. So that means in the main, they have only this heading. Under that heading, they kept another component. What is that component? Register. So main is having another component inside it. Understood? And what is that component? Netflix. This is Netflix what? Register. Now we need to design this. If you can design this, rest of the part also you can design, right? So first we will see how to design this. Means how many components you need. So we need how many components? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 components. Index is the startup. In index, at the top you will keep header, and below header you will keep main. Inside the main you will keep register. So you need to design 4 components first, right? Let's do. Let's go to the, and you need some images and all. We will copy that also. First, let me create the hierarchy. So what we are doing now, in SRC folder, I will not disturb these components because I am creating a separate site now, right? Then what I will do is, in SRC, I will add a new folder called Netflix. Okay. I'm adding a separate Netflix folder in SRC. All Netflix components we will keep here. Okay. So let's add subfolders now. We will add subfolders into it. One folder is Netflix what? Index. Okay. Netflix. Yeah. Okay. Netflix index. Netflix index. Okay. That is one. I will add another folder. What is it? Netflix header. Okay. Let's add another folder. Make sure that you are adding all these in Netflix folder, right? Don't select a folder and add a folder into it. It will be another folder inside it. Huh? In Netflix, we need one more. What is it? So Netflix main. Okay. Let's add another folder into Netflix. What is it? Netflix register. This is good to keep everything in a separate. Okay, so let's start with the designing of Netflix index. In Netflix index, you need two files. What is it? Netflix index.js. Okay, another file. So Netflix index.css. That is the file. Now here in this Netflix index, I need one image, background picture. I want something. In this folder, I will open that folder, Netflix index folder, and here we will keep one image. In my computer, I have Netflix banner. Yep. So I have public images, something. You can download a banner of Netflix. I have a Netflix banner. So Netflix back. Okay, fine. I will copy that into our project location. Our project location is this one. Okay. Into that index folder, I will copy that Netflix back. It is a PNG file. Netflix back is a PNG file. I am using that PNG file. Actually, let's open. This is the Netflix back. It is the PNG file. I want to use this file, right? So let's go and design this now. First, I have to first create the Netflix index function, right? In JS file, what we have to do, export function. So function, what is that function? Netflix what? Index. Netflix index. And it should return a simple container. I will just keep that container there. And so what we will do is, for this container, I will keep an ID as banner, right? Banner is the ID of that container. I'm just returning an empty one, right? Now what we will do is, let's link the CSS file. So what is import dot slash, what is it? Netflix index.css. We are importing that index. Now in this, we have to write hash, what is it? Banner. So that is the banner, am I right? The banner we will put a height as some 768 pixels, just 768 pixels height. That is the default height of a page. Actually, later you can adjust that. So 768 pixels. Then I will use background image. Background, we can put image URL comes from, so dot slash, it is coming from dot slash, what is it? Netflix back.png. And what I will do is, so I will keep this in the startup and see first. Let's go to index.js. Here we have to import which component? We have to import Netflix index. Netflix index component is imported. Your Visual Studio is intelligent enough to pick up the path and add it. Otherwise, you have to manually add. And here I will just use the component. What is it? Netflix index. And you see the output here. The Netflix index is having the banner. So we have this banner, but banner is very much dominating, right? I will keep this banner correctly fit on the screen, right? So what we will do, let's go to the CSS. You know how to fit a background. We have background size as cover, background size cover, then it will fit the background correctly. After fitting the background correctly, what I will do is, I don't want this background to dominate. It is very much dominating. Then I will do one thing. In this JS, inside the banner, I will keep another div. I will keep ID as shade. Shade. I will use the ID as shade. Okay, let's go here. We will access dot hash what shade. Shade height also 768 pixels, and shade have background color RGBA. RGBA is red, green, blue, alpha. Alpha means transparency. So 000 will put black color as background. Then in that case, background black will not show picture. I kept a shade on background and it is not showing the picture. Last value you can give 0.6. That is alpha. Alpha, it will, you can give 0 to 1. It will keep transparency. That means background image is there, but it is not dominating. Transparency levels, your wish. 0.8, then means more darker. More darker. I will give 0.6, that's enough. That is enough, like this. So we need a background image, but we don't want the background image to dominate, right? That is the background. Fine. Your index is ready. In this index, so in this index, we just have a banner. In that banner, we made interface in such a way that it will not dominate, right? So we just put a shade inside it. Now we need to create a header and put in index, right? We have to create a separate header. Let's go. Let's go to here, Netflix. Which location? Header. Go to Netflix header now and add 2 files. What is it? Netflix header dot what? JS. So if necessary, you can add CSS. CSS is not mandatory every time. First, we will see whether it is needed or not, because we can use our general bootstrap. Here we will write a export. What is it? Function Netflix. Netflix what? Header. And what it should return? It should return a simple container. In this container, header have a div. This div is having Netflix. Netflix, for this I will put a class as brand. Brand title. That is the class name, brand title. Brand, that is our own class actually. Then I need to write my own effects for this because I want red color large. Okay, that is one Netflix brand. Now what we will do here, another div. This is one container. This is one container. In this we are keeping that Netflix. Another container we are keeping. In this we have a select. Select is having some simple option. Option, we have a language. We have a language and we have an option like English, like this. So English, and we have an option in that Hindi. Hindi, I will use Google Translate. So Google Translate, okay. In Google Translate, I will translate Hindi, English to Hindi. I will copy that Hindi word. Let's keep this in our option here. That is Hindi is in Hindi, right? That's what we are displaying. And here they have another span. I will put the class name BI globe. Globe. That is what we are defining here, right? And make sure that this is in another div. Okay, fine. Now this is the container we created. This is header actually. This is header, but it is still not ready. Lot of work is there here. This header we need to keep in which page? We need to keep that header in our index page. In index at the top we need header. Let's go to the index component. This is index.js. In this index, inside the shade, here we have to access the header component. To access header component, you have to import it. What you have to do? Import which component? Netflix header, and you can access that Netflix header here. Understood? A component inside another component. That means now you can see at the top that is there, but it is not having a good appearance. We need to keep a good appearance. There is another button in header component. Let's go to header. In header component, after this, there is another div. What is that? It is having a button. Button is what? Sign in. Sign in. So we will put a class btn danger. And you can see there is a button. So here sign in. I need to keep it with a good appearance now. We need to keep in a good appearance. Then how do we do that? So let's go and add a CSS file here. I will add a new CSS file. What is it? Netflix header dot CSS. So Netflix header dot CSS. Yeah. In this Netflix header dot CSS, wherever this brand title is there, I will access dot brand title. I will give font size as 30 pixel and font family as some Arial, and I will give color as red. Like this, I am just giving some effect. We can put their banner. I am just giving that here, and we need to define that here. We have to link this na. So in Netflix header, we have to link the CSS. What we have to do? Import dot slash Netflix what header dot CSS. You have to import that Netflix header dot CSS. Then it will get that Netflix. So here I will use as which one? Header dot CSS. I will use text transform as capitalize. Text transform capitalize will keep that into capital letter. Capitalize is first letter only, capital letter. Huh? Here text transform I will use as uppercase. Capitalize means first letter, then it is uppercase. I will give font weight as a bold. You can add any size for that and define that is Netflix here. Now I need this entire header as side by side. We need to keep that header side by side. So what we are doing here, let's go to the header.js. All are kept in these, all you see brand title, globe and all, these are kept inside this div. For this div, I will put a class as, suppose class name as header. Okay, let's add the class here. What is the class in CSS dot header? Header, I will apply display as flex. Display flex usually keep everything side by side. After keeping display flex, we will keep justify content space between. They will keep one left, another right. And we want some padding. So I will give padding as 30 pixel. Some gap around will come. I want that button and that sign in side by side. Then what we will do? This drop down and this we will put in a class called input group. I hope you know input group. Input group will keep in this way. That means they will keep in a side by side. Where is it? So input group. For this we will put a class as a form select. Actually, this is an input group you are applying. This is button should be inside it. Okay. This is fine. This is the span available. This button also we will keep here itself. Right. So this also we need to keep class name as a dflex. Dflex is display flex. Then it will keep side by side. Okay. And we will keep size correctly. So this must be in one box. This must be in another box. And this height, I will not use display flex. Little CSS related some options. That is fine. Okay. We need some margin left side. For the button, here I am using class as margin. Margin left means margin S. Margin S. I will give as some 4. Margin left means it will be right side. And you can see here this have a class name globe and input group text. We have input group text that makes this globe appear like this. That will be better. Now this is actually the drop down we are having. And this is the button and this is the banner we have. So that is the header ready. So we configured the header and we defined the header in this way, right? So here you need little bit of bootstrap, CSS and everything. Fine. So header is ready. In the header, we kept these all options. So here you are having input group. Input group contains a globe and a select and a button, right? That is fine. Okay, next header is also ready. Now next what we have to do, main. We need to create the main section. Let's create the main, and main should be where the main section should be in index. In index below this header, main should come. Under the header, we need to keep the main, right? Then we will design the main now. Let's go to the Netflix main, right? I am going to Netflix main. I will select here. What is it? Netflix main.js. One more file I will add here. So Netflix main.css. We designed this. Now let's create the function. So export function Netflix main. Netflix main. This have to return. So return a container. Okay. In this container, what we are having, see their website, unlimited movies, shows, watch anywhere. Okay. I will copy this now. So I will copy this. This I will keep in heading 1. And this I will keep in heading 2. Heading 2 or heading 3. Like this I added. Now we have to put lot of appearance also for this now. We need to keep lot of appearance of for this. Where this main should come, that we decide. Where this main should display, the main should come in index. In index after the header. After the header, I am adding main. Understood? You know, in HTML, there is a main area. In this, we have to get which component? Netflix main. Automatically it will import. Your Visual Studio is intelligent, right? It will import. You just type and choose tab, automatically it will add the options. Okay, now you go here and see where they gone. You can see this is here. Now we need a good appearance for this main. So what we will do is, let's go to the main. So main, so class name, I will give as text white. Text white, I will give as text center. Text white, text center will keep in this way. We need a little bit down this main area, right? Actually, what we can do is, the main, whatever is present, where that main is present in our index. In index, this main is present. What we can do in index, whenever you keep a div, and in that you can keep it. So what is advantage? In Netflix index.css, I will give the main, I will give an option as height as some 400 pixel, and we will use here the option as a display is what? Display is flex, and justify content as center, align items as center. So this will keep the heading center, will keep the heading center. Now I want that heading size increased. You can do anything. So that means let's go to the main. In main CSS file, we have to link the main CSS file to Netflix main.js. What we do? Import dot slash, what is it? Netflix main dot CSS. In this, for heading 1, heading 3, we will put some effects. So for heading 1, I given font size as 40 pixel, and you can see, oh, some problem. Netflix, spelling wrong. Yeah, I give next to Flix I written. Okay. Yeah, now it is fine. You can see the font size here. Suppose I am giving the font size as 50 pixel, then it will increase the size. I will change this width now. So width of heading as 400 pixel, then width will adjust like this. I will keep this width to 600 pixel, then width will be in this way. Am I right? Now we have little bit gap between, I will just give margin bottom as 20 pixel, then it will shift this below. Right, watch anywhere, anytime you can display in this way. Now this is the main ready. Am I right? Now under this main, we need register na. Under this main we need register. That means we need to create a register component. So you can see this is the Netflix main. I think they given more width. Huh? So what we can do, we give 800 light. You can see that will get more width. Okay, and more. Then I will give 750. That is fine. Okay, right? This is the width we have given. Now what we need to do is, under this we need this one, right? Ready to watch, and the text box and all. This is which component? Register component. This is register components. Let achieve that register component separately now. So how do we create the register component? Let's go into Netflix. Which one? Register. In that Netflix register, add a new file. What is it? Netflix register.js. One more file. What is it? Netflix register.css. Okay, let's go Netflix register export function. Netflix register component. What it should return? It should return a container. In this, you need another container. So div, in this container, I have a paragraph above. Okay. And under that paragraph, another div. In that they have input type as email. So, and here email will have a class. Yeah, this is the class. What is the class name? Form control. And email is having a placeholder. Placeholder is your email address. And beside it, we have a button. This button will have get started. And there is a span. So class, we have bi chevron right. Chevron right is an arrow symbol. Okay, now this button class will be class name btn danger. BTN danger, and this two email and button should be combined. So class name BTN, sorry, this is input group, input what group, and input group LG. LG is a large size. Now where to display that register? Under this main. So inside the main, right? We have to go to the main area. Let's go to the main area. This is the main, right? Inside the main, we want to add that. Inside the main, we need to add this. Then here we are giving an option. What is it? We have to use the component. Which component we need to use? So we have to use the Netflix. Which one? Register. Netflix register we have to put here. In the main, we are adding Netflix register. That means now it is there. And we need to shift this little bit down. Then I will just keep this. Where is it? Netflix main dots, Netflix register JS. And this div, we will put a class name margin top as 4. I will give little bit space, then it will be fine. And this is the Netflix page. Right? Remember, you cannot get exact same color and fonts, because for that we have to use and download their fonts. Then you will get an exact clone. Right? That means their fonts, they have some registered fonts. Right? So we achieved the function, we achieved the design of Netflix. Netflix is completely designed by using React. Netflix is a React app. It is an React app. So we created the basic design of that. And here Netflix people's text box, their buttons look little different. Why they look different? Because they use another library called MUI. MUI. This also you will learn later. This is MUI. This is material UI. This is material UI. And you can see this is what followed by these people. Netflix uses that. Understood? Netflix, Amazon, Spotify, right? Shutterstock, NASA, all these people are using this. The colors, the fonts, the button styles, text box styles are little different from Bootstrap. Right? You can see their buttons. I will go to material UI. You can see they have buttons. In the components, they will have buttons. Their buttons look like this. Bootstrap buttons and their buttons look little different. You can see their buttons look like this. So these also we can use later, not now, right? For using these type of components, we need to learn a lot of React, then only you can implement. Right now we created a simple example of Netflix using the components hierarchy. Here, what is the main concept is, so how to access a component inside another. First, creating the components, maintaining the hierarchy correctly. So which component we are starting with? Only one component is in the startup. Which one? Netflix index. In that index, header. Under the header, main. So, and inside main, register. Now see the specialty here. Suppose I'm just using this design. Suppose I'm scrolling down. See, let's go to the, where is main area? Yeah. Or anywhere. Suppose index is there. In this is the main area. Now what I'm doing is, after the main area somewhere, I want another div. Here I want a registration form, and again, then what we have to do? We have to just import Netflix register component here. If I import Netflix register component here after the main, then you can see one more register is there. But see, this width is different. Why? Because it is not adapting that main width. Right? You can add any number of registration forms with different styles. You can see all those will come. right? With different styles. That means you can duplicate, you can reuse. That is the concept of components reusability. That means you can define here. So class name, I will just give here W75, something like this. That is actually width. Then it will set the width like this. So I just given, so text align, text center. Actually, it is not text alignment. So because we need to use deflex and all, right? Usually we can control the appearance of component in different ways. It's not necessary that the component should have same behavior everywhere. Means same appearance everywhere. In another place, its color may be different. Its size may be different. We will learn how to create such components. Currently, a component is accessed and used exactly in the same way. But in reality, some components will be in such a way that I hope you know in Bootstrap there is carousel component. In carousel component, you can put sliding pages, sliding images. Is image same every time? No, image will change, timing will change. That means we have to able to create components which will take new values from us and implement those. Design will be there, functionality will be little changing. That we can achieve by using React properties. In React, you will learn properties, then you can handle them. Initially, this is just to make you understand how do we work with the components. Is it clear? Right? You need to practice this. That is very important, right? Listening will be very good, right? Like Christopher Nolan movie. You know Christopher Nolan? Christopher Nolan, Interstellar, Matrix, right? And Inception. These are the great movies of Christopher Nolan. His movies, when you are watching on IMAX screen, you will be clapping for every scene. You will be whistling. After the movie finished, you will ask what is story. You can't understand his stories. Interstellar, you will clap for every scene, but you don't know the story theme, right? So the like that it will be if you don't practice. Understood? So you have to put this practically, then only you will get perfection. I will upload the complete zip folder. What I will do now is this entire Netflix folder is there na. This Netflix folder, I will upload a zip file. You copy into your Google Drive, there download, and you can use it. So I am not uploading complete project because it is very heavy. It will be in GB. So I am uploading only that Netflix folder. And to design what you do extra, install Bootstrap and Bootstrap icons. That's it. And this will work, right? You have to try this. Once you try this, once you are good with this, now we will go to the next level. In the next level, we have to learn how data binding works. Data binding means how we can access data and present the data, how we can collect the data from user input, output, how do we manage. That means you designed a form, you need to make it work, right? Collecting the data, presenting the data, we call this as data binding. That we will see in tomorrow's session. Okay, so first tomorrow try this. If you face any difficulty, let me know, and I will explain like this two more examples. Two more examples I will explain along with other topics so that you will get more clarity. Okay, then tomorrow we'll continue. Tomorrow we will discuss about data binding, how data binding works, what is data binding and all. Okay, I will upload this complete GIF file. You can see that and try. Okay, right.
Hello.
Yes, Madhavi.
Yeah, hi, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I missed the class notes link, sir.
Class note link. I will forward one more. The new link you are saying, right?
New link. Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I shared in chat box to everyone. Huh?
Yeah, got it. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Yes, yes.